Hi everyone, this is another episode of The Poor Person's Guide to Eating Well. And this episode we're going to make 3 meals out of 1 pound of beef. 3 meals out of 1 pound of beef, and those 3 meals are meatloaf, hamburgers / slug burger or Salisbury steak, and meatballs. So all of them start with this meat base that I make that stretches the meat out, and a funny stuff. So let's look at our ingredients here. So what I have in this bowl, which looks kind of disgusting but is actually not, is 1.5 cups of breadcrumbs, and they are breadcrumbs that I made out of bread heels and bread that's gone stale and whatnot, and I'm soaking that in 1.5 cups of milk. So 1 part milk to 1 part breadcrumbs. Okay. We have ketchup. We're going to put some ketchup in there because the acidity from the ketchup and the vinegar in the ketchup makes the meat nice and tender, and it gives a nice tomatoey flavor. 2 eggs. I have 1 pound of lean beef, and I did put that sale sticker out to show you because I like to pick things up that are on sale. So this was a pretty good buy for 1 pound of beef. And I have my spices. I have about 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. I like Worcestershire sauce. It gives kind of a nice umami flavor. Not everybody likes it, so you can substitute out amino acids, soy sauce, anything that gives that kind of rich umami flavor. I have Italian spices, which are basil, oregano, and I think rosemary. They're not really Italian spices per se, but it's kind of convenient having them all together. Some parsley and some garlic. So you can put onion flakes and things like that in there too. Whatever spices you like, and whatever umami source, like the Worcestershire sauce here, you like, works for this dish. Okay, so this looks kind of unattractive right now, but it won't when you form the patties and the meatloaf and whatnot. But I have taken the beef out of the casing that it was in, and I put it into the bowl with the soaking breadcrumbs, and I cracked 2 eggs into the mixture here. So I want to also point out that the beef that I usually get is 80-20, 80% lean, 20% fatty, and that's because when you get fattier meat, it tends to cook off a lot of oil, and that cooks away essentially what you bought, right? It cooks down to almost nothing because really what you're buying is the fat. So even though the lean meat seems like it's a little bit more expensive, you actually get more meat per ounce than you would with less lean ground beef. So what we're going to do, and again, like I always do, I'm trying to attempt this one-handed. I'm going to open up the ketchup, and the ketchup is in a squeeze bottle, so I'm just going to squeeze in about, see, 2 tablespoons or so of ketchup. And that ketchup will add a nice smoky kind of tomatoey flavor, and the vinegar in it and the acid from the tomatoes will kind of soften up the meat and make it nice and tender and delicious. So this is the Worcestershire sauce. So it is Worcestershire sauce. It is about 2 tablespoons. And here's the garlic powder. You can use fresh garlic if you want to. I just didn't have any on hand. It's parsley and the Italian seasonings. And okay, so traditionally, this isn't the most, I guess, elegant way to mix something, but traditionally we would mix this up with our hands. So I've washed my hands, and we're just going to dive right in and start mixing all of this up together and just kind of squishing with your hands like this. So until everything becomes kind of congealed, incorporated mixture. Okay, so now I've split the meat mixture 3 ways. Okay, I did also put a little sprinkle of salt in there, but not a lot. Okay, and the largest amount here is to make a meatloaf, and then these other 2 sections are for making meatballs and slug burgers / Salisbury steak, which are basically the same thing. They're just kind of served differently. And you'll notice that the mixture is a little bit like wetter and sloppier than you might expect from a meatloaf mixture. That is okay, right? That is okay. It will firm up and it will be absolutely delicious and moist and wonderful because of it when we take all of these out of the oven. So I'm going to... Okay, so I formed the meat into meatballs. Notice that they're not perfect, right? So, and I also made 3 slug burgers or 3 Salisbury steaks. I did grease the pan just a little bit with a little bit of oil just so they come out nice and easy, and I'm going to put those in a 350-degree oven. I'm going to start them off for about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to check them to see if they're cooked all the way through. But for a family of 3, right, this can be put into gravy, into spaghetti sauce. This can be made into meatball subs, and these can be eaten on a roll with cheese and lettuce and tomato and all of that good stuff and ketchup, or again with gravy to be eaten like a tiny Salisbury steak. And actually they're not so tiny. So here is my ultimate trick for meatloaf, and it's like a pinwheel meatloaf or a stuffed meatloaf, and there's a trick to this, and there's actually a science to it also. So what I have here is I have the meat mixture on a piece of tin foil that's just on the stove right now as a flat surface. I oiled the piece of tin foil a little bit so that it comes off the sides a little bit easier. But here's the trick. So what I'm going to do is I have over here, I have some cheese and I have some ham. Now the ham that I bought is actually not the ham that I usually get. It's not the same kind of caliber of ham, but it's fine. And what I'm going to do is, because it's kind of round, which looks more like bologna, but I tasted it, it does taste like ham. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to line this here with the ham. So I'm just going to put slices of ham all over the middle here. Okay, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm doing this one-handed as usual. So, and then I have a couple slices of cheese, and I'm going to line with the cheese also. Do that. And that. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's a little bit hard to do one-handed. And why this is on the stove instead of being, in a pan is I'm going to actually use the foil to roll up the meatloaf. I can't do it one-handed, but you can kind of see, like, you take the meatloaf and you roll it over. See, look, it's already rolling over. You roll it over and you kind of keep rolling it until you get this kind of pinwheel effect with the ham and the cheese on the inside. Okay, so I've rolled up the meatloaf, and as you can see, I used the foil that I rolled the meatloaf up into to kind of lift it into the pan. I'm going to try and show you one-handed. You can see, kind of like picked it up like this and put it in. So I kind of like made a little sling. I did it with two hands though, and I picked it up like that, and I lifted it into the pan with the tin foil that I made it on. I also put a little bit of ketchup on the top and a little bit of cheese. I know that sounds kind of gross, but it's actually really delicious, and it kind of like cooks over the top of the meatloaf. So I'm going to stick this into a 350-degree oven. Okay, everyone, while that cooks, here is the breakdown. 1 pound of ground beef for $3.65. 2 eggs at 6 cents together. 1.5 cup milk, $1. 2 teaspoons of Italian seasonings, 25 cents. 2 teaspoons of parsley, 25 cents. 1 teaspoon of garlic, 10 cents. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 25 cents. 2 tablespoons of ketchup for 20 cents. A cup and a half of homemade breadcrumbs, that's free. A pinch of salt, 5 cents. And total that comes to $5.81. If you break that 3 ways, that's $1.94 each. But the difference is that if we're going to add the ham and cheese and a little bit of ketchup to the meatloaf, that adds 25 cents for the ham, 50 cents for the cheese, 10 cents for the ketchup, making the meatloaf total $2.79. Okay, so these are the cooked slug burgers and the cooked meatballs ready for the freezer. They're in freezer containers. These freeze beautifully. As long as you lay them out flat and you kind of separate them like this, and you can freeze them and frost them when you're busy or you don't feel like cooking or whatnot. This is the beautiful fully cooked meatloaf before we dug into it. So I want to show you the plated piece of pinwheel meatloaf, and you can look and see the swirls of ham and cheese all together with the melty cheese on the outside. It's really delicious, really moist. As you can see, we've eaten a good portion of the meatloaf already because it really is so delicious. We couldn't help ourselves. And here's the strategy. Here's the reason why making a pinwheel meatloaf like this is a good idea. Because when you flatten out the meatloaf and you separate the different layers of meat with the ham and the cheese, everything cooks faster because you've just lengthened out the surface area of the meat. So instead of cooking a big block of meat and, breadcrumbs and egg and stuff like that, you're actually, even though it's rolled up into a loaf, you're actually cooking a very thin layer. So it cooks pretty fast. This took about 25 minutes to cook, right? Which isn't a very long time for a full meatloaf. Now, as you can see, it's kind of like an oval shape, not really a loaf shape. You can put this in a loaf pan to have more of a traditional loaf shape. Or if you don't mind that it's kind of like a baguette kind of shape, then this works also. So this is our plated pinwheel meatloaf, and that was the last of the 3 meals that you can make from that one meat base that we did in the beginning of the video. So if you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, and we're working on Twitter and Instagram, but follow us, like us, send us recipes, and we'll see you next time.